So be it. Jedi.
What's going on, guys? Back in another video. Can you think of a figure that you've always wanted but was out of your price range because it's older, it's sold out, it's reached grail status, and then all of a sudden it's 2.0'd? And then for some reason that 1.0 becomes obsolete. A lot of people start to poo-poo on it, and it's almost like it's not worth owning. In this video we'll talk about, is latest always greatest? Meaning, are there any 1.0 figures that still hold up, that are still worth collecting, and why is it that every time a 2.0 is announced, it seems like the 1.0 is just not worth having? Start this video off with a list of a few figures that I think still hold up and they're still pretty good by today's standards, and that really don't justify buying the 2.0 if you paid aftermarket prices for the original, if you just have a special place in your heart for it, if you just don't feel like spending the money. Because a lot of times there are things you have to prioritize for, and if you're happy with the figure you got, you don't always need to buy the newest version. So I'll start the list off with the MMS 485 and 486, Anakin Skywalker and Darkside Anakin Skywalker. I know, I'm the #1 glazer of that figure. I'm doped up on copium. I don't shut up about it, but honestly, I cannot stop myself from looking at those figures with rose shaded glasses. Maybe it's because when I first jumped into the hobby, they were, up there with grail status. Maybe I just really like the head sculpt. I don't know what it is about the figure that I just like more than anything we've seen afterwards. I've invested a lot of money into my Darkside Anakin. I've bought a custom base, bought leather tabards. I've got Qui-Gon Jinn's cloak to make it a little bit more screen accurate coming soon. So that's more money on an obsolete figure, right? But honestly, I just don't think it gets enough love anymore. Everybody's on the artisan train, and I'm not there yet. Maybe I'll change my mind one day, but every time I see a post of that figure, I just can't help but look at that hairline. I'm really one to talk, but it just does not look good, man. It looks like freaking toothbrush, looks like doll hair. I don't care how you style it. I just cannot get down with Hot Toys rooted hair. Now, I emphasized Hot Toys rooted hair. I think InArt does an incredible job from the photos I've seen. Obviously, I don't have any in hand, but Hot Toys rooted hair looks like shit most of the time. And if you've got a figure and it's artisan, you love it, this not me poo-pooing on you. By all means, that's your prerogative. I'm happy for you. I still love the figure. Maybe when I see blogger photos and in-hand photos of that new Anakin Skywalker from Mustafar, or we get another, full package Anakin Skywalker with an actual robe, I'll buy that. But until then, I'm pretty content and pretty happy with that original Revenge of the Sith Anakin. Next up, we have the DX13 Battle Damage Terminator. This is honestly part of the reason why I bought the clean Terminator, because I think you can have the DX13 and be good. I don't think the upgrade from the 2.0 is that big of a difference to justify, getting rid of the DX13. Now, I don't think a lot of people are going to poo-poo on this because it was so highly esteemed for the longest time that, those that have it probably paid a lot for it, or they've had it for years, so they're probably not going to get rid of it. Now, when it comes to the clean Terminator, yeah, the DX10, whatever MMS the other one was, this is a hell of an upgrade, and part of the reason why I chose that version. Can't wait to get it from Sideshow, but it's looking like it's going to be a while. Due to my ignorance on a lot of figures that I just don't have interest in owning and have never owned, I really can't speak to Iron Man figures and how the 1.0, 2.0 figures scale to one another. I'm sure there are some 1.0 Iron Man figures that are pretty good, and, vice versa. So I'll sort of leave that, for somebody else more educated. These next couple are figures that have not been 2.0'd yet, but probably will with the way the things are going. And the reason I'm making this video after just posting one talking about 2.0s versus, new, never before seen figures is I just think it's such a fascinating topic. It's very polarizing. Either you're on one side of the fence where you're happy to see it, or the other where you're feeling pretty burned. Grand Moff Tarkin from A New Hope. A lot of people consider this to be one of Hot Toys' best portraits they've ever done. I personally agree. It's not really one I'm interested in owning, but it does go for, quite a bit of money. I haven't looked at recent sold listings, but I'm sure it's, $400, if not more, especially that Tarkin Vader 2-pack. Peter Cushing likeness is incredible, and I'm afraid that when this figure inevitably gets 2.0'd, because there's always those that say, oh, this will never get made. Well, we honestly don't know, right? But there's a good chance. So I guess we'll have to see. Honestly, I don't think the only way you can improve this figure is to just give it rolling eyes. What more could you do, right? Same can be said for Count Dooku. You're going to see a trend here. Count Dooku, Christopher Lee's likeness, one of the best they've ever done. It's hard to conceptualize how good a potential figure could be until you see that actual figure. So I could be, way off. That's the way I felt with Darth Maul from The Phantom Menace. I thought the DX16 and 17 looked pretty good. I just didn't want them. And then I saw the new version, and it's night and day difference, right? So I may be wrong. These figures may get 2.0, and we just, may be totally bamboozled, and they may be that much better. But I think, again, all you really need is rolling eyes. Roll it on out. Reissue it. And the last figure on this list, Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan from A New Hope. Another one of Hot Toys' best. They have a specialty with older gentlemen. Again, I don't think you could do much better than this aside from rolling eyeballs. Those are some figures that I think still hold up by today's standards. And no matter how long it's been since they've been released, there's always going to be some people that look at it through a different perspective because they either spend a lot of time looking for it on the secondary market, paid out the wazoo for it, or, it's just special to them. So let's try to wrap our mind around why this is often something you hear on social media when a figure is 2.0'd and that old version just really doesn't hit right anymore. I think honestly a lot of people just like to have the newest version of stuff. That goes back to our desire to keep buying new things. There's just something different about getting that new Hot Toys figure in, cracking it open, getting a whiff of all them chemicals they use to make it. It's just not the same as buying an older figure or, the older figures you have on your shelf. But at the same time, there are always going to be those that go and buy the older figure when that new version's announced, right? Get a deal on it and you could be happy with it. Or maybe that original version is one you've always wanted and you just can't look at it in a different way. We're all different. We're all going to collect differently. There is no right or wrong way to perceive any of this. It's just a fun topic because, like I mentioned in last week's video, Hot Toys is going to keep making the same figure over and over and over. And though people say they want new stuff, they really don't because people keep buying the 2.0s, the 3.0s, however many .0s it is of that figure. There's always going to be a Darth Vader on pre-order for somewhere, right? It's never ending, and that's something you sort of have to realize is that Hot Toys is going to keep going on with or without you. You can't really worry about future figures or figures they may do or they are doing. If you're happy with what you got or happy with the figure you got, that's really all that matters because we could just keep rinsing and repeating our displays with new figures and you're not going to feel much different. If that figure you're looking at in your display case looks awesome, you're happy with it, you love it, how much more could you really love that figure if they gave you the same version but new? You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Are there some older figures that you think hold up that you just can't stop yourself from feeling a certain type of way about? Or are you one that as soon as that 2.0, that new version's announced, you're getting rid of that older figure for the upgrade? I'd love to know what you think down in the comments below. As always, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, see you in the next one.
I'm sorry, sir. It's time for you to leave.